Diyos. Maraming salamat po sa buhay at lakas na aming taglay, sa liwanag ng kaisipan at sa pagkakataong maipagpatuloy ang pag-aaral ng mga kabataan. Gabayan mo po ang bawat isa sa amin. Anuman ang bahagi na aming gagampanan, naway maging maayos at matagumpay ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral na aming gagawin sa araw na ito. Patawarin mo po kami sa aming mga pagkulang at pagkakasala. At sa aming paggawa, ikaw po ang aming makasama. Amen.
COVID-19. Death of a loved one. A sick member of the family. Slow to no internet connection. Distance learning adjustment. Load for online class. Inconsistent or no source of income. Not being able to go out or see your friends and loved ones. These are some things which make us worry during the pandemic. If not handled or managed well, this can become a source of your stress. We still don't know how long our current situation will last, but there are a lot of things that you can do to carry on and move forward despite our current situation. A pleasant morning to all the senior high school students who are tuned in today. As we go along with our discussion, you are expected to identify the causes and effects of stress in your life and demonstrate personal ways to cope with stress and maintain mental health. We often associate the word stress with negative situations. But according to the American Psychological Association, stress is a normal reaction to everyday pressures. It is your body's response caused by external factors, which are called stressors. Does this mean that being stressed isn't always a bad thing? Let's find out. Stressors are events or conditions in your surroundings that may trigger stress. There are two types of stressors. The first one is called eustress. Eustress is the term for positive stressors, such as going on a vacation, receiving gifts, winning the lottery, getting the job that you want, or spending quality time with your family and friends. These positive stressors motivate you, focus your energy, make you feel excited, and improve your performance. On the other hand, de-stress refers to negative stressors like death of a family member, losing a loved one, having an illness or injury, being neglected, or having conflicts. These often cause anxiety, unpleasant feelings, decrease in performance, and sometimes may lead to mental health concerns. It is somewhat hard to categorize stressors into specific lists of those that cause you stress and those that cause distress, because different people will have different reactions to particular situations. A positive event or a situation doesn't always imply a positive emotion. Starting a relationship is a positive event. The feeling of being loved inspires you. But sometimes, it could also result in negative emotions, such as feeling pressured, anxious, or constantly worrying about your partner. What about you? As an adolescent, what are your current stressors? Comment down below. It is important that you know that you are already experiencing stress. There are several manifestations of stress in your body. It could be physical, emotional, or behavioral. Let us take a look at the physical manifestations of stress. Headache, stomach ache, dizziness, back pain, neck stiffness, weight loss, weight gain, twitches, weakness, indigestion, or excessive sleeping. Emotional manifestations of stress, mood changes, lack of concentration, panic attacks, irritability, confusion, feeling of helplessness. Behavioral manifestation of stress, smoking, nail biting, tapping, or hair pulling. Use of alcohol, use of medicine, compulsive dieting, or hair chewing. Positive emotions like joy, happiness, and excitement are usually expressed freely. They motivate you to perform well. They are not suppressed. Therefore, positive emotions do not usually cause negative stress. Negative emotions, on the other hand, are hidden. You suffer quietly, and you experience distress. If experienced over an extended period of time, it can become problematic. It may put you at greater risk of becoming involved in negative behaviors, which will impact your mental health and your well-being. Stress is part of your everyday life. You cannot avoid stress. In fact, you wouldn't want to avoid stress at all because you would never grow. Overcoming stress will help you maximize your full potential. Fortunately, there are a lot of effective ways on how you can manage your stress. Also, you may survive emotional downtimes with the use of these effective ways. Here are some tips on how you can cope with stress during the COVID-19 pandemic. Are you still with me? That's great. Number 1 is breathing exercises. Deep breathing is a stress reduction strategy that can be used in the present moment. It is an excellent skill to master to effectively cope with future stressors. You may allot several minutes of your day for breathing exercises. All you have to do is find a quiet space, take a deep few breaths, and repeat it for several times. Let us try a simple breathing exercise. Are you ready? Stand up and find a quiet place. Close your eyes and clear your mind. Do not think of anything. Take a deep breath and hold it for 3 to 5 seconds. Afterwards, exhale through your mouth. You may repeat this for at least 5 times. Allowing yourself to rest is also beneficial. Always make time in your day to do something that you enjoy, especially if you are working in front of a computer. Take a short break, rest your eyes and your mind. Another thing, number 2, understanding the causes of your stress. Understanding why you are stressed is very important. This may seem obvious, but it requires deliberate, conscious effort to pause and simply ponder your situation. By now, you are familiar with the emotional, physical, and behavioral symptoms of uncontrolled stress. Now, you need to try to discover the reasons behind your stressors or the factors which create the stress in your life. Number 3 is analyze your stress factors and write it down. Write down your response to stress. For example, you may write down I feel tired most of the time. My lower back seems to ache all through the day and night. I miss deadlines and run behind my schedule. Analyze stress response and consequence and consider each item. Ask why. Why am I feeling tired? Why does my back ache? Why do I run behind schedule? Carefully consider each answer because the answer will reveal stressors such as deadlines, anxieties, trying to do so much, managing time or money, poorly, or poor health habits. Number 4 is deal with your stressors. Develop techniques to deal with the causes of stress. The longer you avoid dealing with the stress factors, the more the stress will build up. If tension comes because you have to put off an unfinished task, restructure your priorities so that you can get the task that you have been avoiding out of the way and off your mind. Number 5, learn to work under pressure or unusual conditions. When you can't reduce the stress or the stressors, you need to manage your stress response. Almost everyone, at least at some point, has to meet deadlines, keep several jobs going at once, resolve problems that come up, and do extra work when necessary. However, when the pressure mounts, you can relieve it. Relaxation is key, but most people must train themselves to relax when the pressure is on. Number 6, make time for exercise. Physical activities help metabolize stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, and also stimulates happy hormones such as dopamine, estrogen, and serotonin. It can also help take your mind off your worries. The repetitive movements or motions involved in exercise promote a focus on your body rather than your mind. By concentrating on the rhythm of your movements, you experience many of the same benefits of meditation while working out. Focusing on a single physical task can produce a sense of energy and optimism. This focus can help provide calmness and clarity. Next is have a support system. Seek support from your family and friends. Having a support system means having someone to talk to when you feel stressed, which can help relieve some of the pent-up feelings that you have, such as frustration, anger, and anxiety. Your friends or loved ones may also give you new perspectives that can change the way you perceive the source of your stress. Your support system can also help you manage your daily responsibilities so that you have less to do and more company to do it with. Number 8 is learn to say no. Don't take on more responsibilities when your mental and emotional health is already suffering. Saying no takes practice, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Last is to get help. If you continue to feel overwhelmed, consult with a mental health professional like your guidance counselor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. There is no shame in talking to a mental professional about your stress. Getting help means that you truly care about your mental health and well-being as well, and that you want to become a better version of yourself. At this point, I will entertain questions from you. Please use the comment section below for your questions. I think we already have a question, and it is from Abigail. My mother is always yelling at me, which make me feel stressed. How can you help me? Thank you for your question, Abigail. Try talking to your mother about it. Tell her about how you feel when she yells at you. Your mother may not be aware that you are feeling that way. There must be a reason behind her behavior. Ask yourself as well, why do you think she is yelling at you? Did you do something? Maintaining an open and honest communication between family members is essential to avoid conflict. We have another question from Jason. I am so stressed because of online class. How can I handle it? Thank you for your question, Jason. First, you need to identify what about online class is making you stressed. Afterwards, try creating a plan on how you can manage your stress. For example, if what's making you stressed is the constant need to buy a load to have internet connection, you can always switch to modular learning, which doesn't require any internet connection. You can still learn with the help of your parents and your older siblings. And lastly, a question from Eliza. Ma'am, how will I know if I need to consult with a mental health professional? Thank you again for your question, Eliza. You have to ask yourself several questions. Number 1, are you experiencing prolonged feelings of sadness? Number 2, is what you are feeling disrupting your daily activities? Number 3, do you use alcohol or drugs to cope up? And lastly, have you ever thought of hurting yourself? If your answer is yes to all these questions, then you really need to consult a mental health professional as soon as possible. That's it for today's discussion. If you have other questions, you may ask your personal development teacher in your follow-up session regarding this topic. I hope that you learned a lot from our discussion. Do not forget to answer the activities on your learning pocket. Stay at home and stay safe. Goodbye!